G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an OTs-14 GROZA. This is not the first time the GROZA has appeared on the channel. The original mod was made by a guy called IceStormNG, who spends most of his days on Patreon. When he's not making gun mods, he's making high heel and clothing mods. We won't be using those. We only use sensible shoes here at Captainoob, but he is credited as being one of the asset providers on this particular GROZA's mod page, so I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's going to be the same looking gun. It's just the same gun, but done a little bit differently. Probably same animations as well, so we won't spend too long about what this thing is, but suffice it to say, it's an AK-47, but they've changed a few things. Or I guess it's an AK-74 because of the lower caliber here, but they've changed the grip placement, grip and trigger assembly to over there, and you've also got an extended foregrip barrel thingy right there, and there's the handguard, you can see it over there, topped off with an AR-15 style carry handle on the top there. You've got yourself a weapon that is, it's like looking at, let's say, a Nissan Altima with a dented back bumper and peeled paint. It's just not a good sight, but what we'll do is we'll throw some attachments on this and make it prettier by increasing this number. So first of all, we've got the receivers, and this is basically your standard game sort of receivers. You got your automatic powerfuls and your advanced for the strongest per bullet damage receivers. The advanced here doing almost 200, which might make it a good sniper weapon, provided we can find a good scope for it. But for now, we're going to make this thing auto-powerful, and we shall move on. Legendary effect is there if you need it, provided by Legendary Crafting, but we won't use that. You can change the pistol grip, AK-12, Fab, Mo, Plastic, Zenit Co. RK3. Let's go that one. It looks nice and, yes, ergonomic, very comfortable. And you can change the handguard from being wood, tactical, which will take off that rail, but also add some Picatinny rails on the side there, sorry, carry handle. You can have a plastic one, which makes it a plastic instead of wood, which doesn't reduce the weight, so maybe it's very dense plastic. And custom gives you just one Picatinny rail on the top to use there. It says a custom gas tube cover. It does actually reduce your weight, which is nice and elegant. Let's make this one tactical. Yeah, let's do that. And that shifts our attachment points, which means we get more attachments. Okay. We can have stuff on the left of the rail, including lasers or a flashlight. Same thing with on the right-hand side there, so you can double up on laser sights if you feel like it for supreme hipfire accuracy. If you want, that's an option. You can have the laser sight on, off, a spot, or a proper laser beam. So we'll go laser and spot on. Next up, we've got the sights, which include options to have a Cobra, EXPS EOTech, OKP, Trigicon RMR, and a 1P87 and an aim point either in carry handle form or without carry handles. If you scroll down, you can find basically all of the sights here without the carry handles, and all of them have risers on them, except for that one, because that one's pretty high up already. But yeah, there's some pretty good options here with and without the carry handle, depending on how you want to set up this thing. So that's pretty nice. We're going to let's throw on some Russian sights on this thing, make it look all nice and Eastern, because we don't want to make this thing cursed, do we? Shut up, phone, I'm talking. Next up, we've got the magazine, which you can actually chamber in 7.62. That'll give you an increase in damage, which will mean it's an AK-47 now, or perhaps an AKM. And there's also a banana mag down here, which is yellow, because bananas are bendy and yellow, right? Also a 7.62 version of that. There's also 9mm, which will be using the 5mm rounds. I'm guessing that means it's going to be using the ASVEL rounds, 9x30 by 9mm. That's pretty good, 147 damage there. And 5mm, we've got plenty of those. That's great news. That's only 20 round magazine though, so that's your drawback there. We do get slightly better damage out of our 7.62s, so we'll go ahead and throw that one in. And you can change the barrel from no barrel. That's pretty unsafe. I wouldn't do that. The grip there has a little bit of a finger guard there. Make sure your finger doesn't slip over the barrel and you don't want to blow your finger off. You can also have a suppressor on this thing, which looks a little bit more safe. There's a little bit more barrel for you to slip your hand in front of before you get shot off. And there's also a grenade launcher, which means you can't have a grenade launcher and a suppressor at the same time. Very sad. We'll go with a suppressor. We'll get extra damage out of Ace Operator. And there's one of our Grozas, and it's all black too. It's all full stealth mode here. Very nice. All right, let's make some more. Alrighto, so here we are outside of the good old-fashioned Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our Groza, not totally unfamiliar. Bashed animation looks a little bit like that. Blows up a car in a single hit. How good is that? And a quick look in third person, I think, is in order now. That's what it looks like. Ignore the frame rate. It's going to get better as we slay more gunners. Here's the version that I made, suppressy, snipey version. It's got a scope on it, which I believe is equivalent to a medium scope, and with this thing's insane fire rate and the sniper knockdowns, which you just saw happen just there, we can get a whole lot of good damage on very quickly should we use it this way. Number 3 is going to be the one with the standard iron sights, ASVAL magazine, the 9x39mm rounds, and a grenade launcher on the front, which has some curious animations. You've put your thumb over the thing there. I don't think it's going to be like a garden hose where you put your finger or thumb over the edge to increase the flow rate. That's probably a bad idea for grenade launchers, so maybe take your finger out of that. Pressing 5, we've got the GL switcher there, and that allows us to flip up the sight, and we'll be firing grenades instead of bullets now, which have a nice trajectory on them. You can get pretty far, but it appears to be blowing up cars faster with hitting them with the gun than it is with with firing a grenade at it. Maybe a direct hit is in order. And lastly, we've got one here, semi-automatic with a slightly lower powered scope, see-through scope, of course, there. So all of that exaggerated recoil animation will be sitting right through that. But for starters, let's begin by sniping stuff. And probably a good idea to use a grenade launcher in this step, but we'll start off just with a little bit of extra sniping and a little bit of recoil going on here. I don't think it's too bad at all. I think it's quite a fair amount of recoil for the amount of damage we're getting and how fast we are getting that damage. Plenty of sniper knockdowns here are kind of being a frenemy right now, because sometimes you don't want your targets to be knocked down when you can get lots of easy follow-up shots. This is one of those weapons where it's not entirely super useful that we're ragdolling them to the ground to where they've got cover and they can't see me, but alright, it's grenade launcher time, baby. Let's do this. Try to split the difference there. Looks like we're able to get most of that job done, and looks like we're really experiencing the edge of this thing's radius. Managed to just wait a little bit. That guy got a little bit closer, and I think there's a grenade launcher gunner out there, because this is not the first attempt at Immersive Gunners Plaza. A little bit of behind the curtains feel here. That was a nice solid bump there. I don't mind that, but there's been a guy with a grenade launcher, and he's been ragdolling me and killing me every single time. So perhaps when that guy shows up, we'll bring out our little grenade launcher. Oh, actually, I heard it. There's a grenade launcher going off somewhere around here, and I don't know where it is. Is it that guy? No. Also, that's not a guy at all. Let's go ahead and use this thing in bats a little bit. It's not a terrible weapon. We'll go for a critical there just to seal the deal there. And we'll keep on pushing. We'll probably go away from Mr. Grenade Launcher here. Now, with the 20-round magazine, you're going to get through them quickly. The damage per bullet isn't too bad, but if you are going to miss a lot of shots and have a particularly inconsistent aim like myself, you might find yourself reloading mid-kill, and that's no good. So perhaps using a suppressor, if you've got Ace Operator, would be quite a prudent choice for this particular rifle. But actually, whilst we're here, any of you guys got the grenade launcher? Definitely not you. I'll keep you knocked down, see if we can knock down another one. Yep, there we go, perfect. Keep them nice and neutralized whilst we reload the magazine, and then we'll turn our attention to them. That's yet another knockdown there. Very good. And there we go. That's finished. And you can die. Actually, no, I didn't finish the job there. I got some XP from somewhere. Don't really know where it was. And that's the grenade launcher. Oh, no. The grenade launcher guy's back. You need to get up really quick. Okay, that took a big chunk of our health out, but at least we know his general vicinity now. We'll go back over to our suppressed 7.62 version of this thing, which is doing some pretty good work, it must be said. Now, if we want to get even better damage here, we could just VATS, which it's not entirely incapable of using VATS, but there's definitely better, more efficient mods out there for VATS usage. I think this is a fairly balanced approach to it, to be honest, because if it was too good in VATS, then we'd have a little bit of a problem. And hang on a second. That's grenade launcher guy down there, isn't it? Is it? I think it is. Yep, that's the guy. We got to kill him real fast. In fact, I've got a crit left. We'll use it. Okay, thank you, mysterious stranger. Your help is appreciated. And they're gonna throw fire at me. The fire grenades, nah, whatever. We can tank those all day. But the ragdolling grenades that they'll get, sometimes they'll get a reload in before you even get up, so you're in a constant stun lock until you die. It's pretty terrifying. Looks like we get sniper knockdowns with this particular weapon as well. And just like any other see-through scope mod that doesn't transfer you into third person, should you aim this thing in third person, like we are now, you'll only get the iron-sight zoom in, which is great for A, seeing around you, but B, using a scope at a close quarters distance where you don't quite feel like using VATS. So looks like we're slipping back into caution here. Now that we do have the element of surprise back, at least for a second, we can get back to shooting these guys and getting those sneak criticals. And we're missing a couple of gunners down there. There we go. I think the other guy was standing right next to him. Might be another grenade launcher dude there, so maybe we'll leave him alone for the moment, but looks like there's another one out here. Ah, yes, the Lost Man. Sometimes they jump down there and they can't get back up. And I think we've got some Rust Devils on the scene. I've heard an Assaultron, which means Rust Devils show up. I don't know what causes that. Maybe it's just an event. Sometimes, even back in the days of playing this game completely vanilla, that guy just, I think he's going the knuckle because he's already fired his Gustav shot. And that's a quick little re-health for us. We got a quick little cheeky level up, and I saw that 360 no-scope attempt, and honestly, if you're gonna throw extra mobs at me, I'm going to throw lots of grenades at them. So there we go. From this nice elevated position up here, we can get a lot of good work done. There's a little baby Rust Devil down there. Some of these guys might be spawning with industrial drivers here, so we better be a little bit careful of game crashes especially. And one long-range grenade launcher shot. Not quite. No dice in VATS. We'll just go again. I did that for 8 XP. That was the basic lowest form of Raider that there is. Complete and utter overkill, but I love it. Now, I don't know exactly how VATS efficient the grenade launcher is, so whilst we've got one gunner left somewhere, he's up there, but okay, maybe we'll have to investigate this later, but there you are. Where are you? There you are. Go for a critical. Never mind. We couldn't. Okay, so it's fairly efficient when it comes to VATS. This is a colossal waste of grenades. We'll go for a critical. That didn't do the job. Okay, maybe we just shoot him, because he's not moving. So you're only prolonging the inevitable by standing there, buddy. This is not the good weapon for it. Let's try this one. And he got knocked down. Classic. And not quite. Maybe I'll jump. I'll jump and shoot him. Honestly, if there was ever an appropriate time for Idiot Savant to proc, it would be that time. Also, this thing compatible with classic holstered weapons, but it's a little bit high up there, so it looks kind of awkward. Maybe not on this angle, but over here, nah. Could use some work there. Alright, time to get the sniping actually happening here, because I am nothing but determined to get this stealth rifleman solution working, and with the amount of knockdowns that we're getting, I'm thinking we'll just be able to lock down this fight all the way from back here, and the reload might be the only thing that kills us, but by the time he's gotten back up, our reload is finished, and we can hose him down with all of these brilliant rounds here. In fact, what I might do post this reload is switch back to our number 1 here, and we'll get into that. And we've got some sort of feral ghoul around here somewhere, so We'll try to track down his face and shoot that a little bit. Maybe get some of our VATS crits back. There we go. And keep on hosing him down. There's a Brotherhood of Steel vertibird coming in, so unfortunately, even if we were to stay nice and hidden from him, we weren't going to be hidden for long. So we'll go for a quick reload here. Maybe we'll... Did we throw an empty magazine in and thought, oh, better put our actual magazine in? I'm guessing that's what happened, but at least we'll get a little bit of support from our Brotherhood friends. There we go. See all those twos coming off? Someone's shooting him with a bloody minigun, I tell ya. They're doing an okay job. Of course, he's only got eyes for me, the protagonist, the player. He knows what's holding this universe afloat. He doesn't care if he dies. Some people just want to watch the word burn. That's nerd rage for us now, but too little, too late. Thanks for the assist, dudes. Are you going to jump out now? Probably. Actually, that's a full house there. That's a cool entrance, Mr. Brotherhood Knight. I think the job's done. Unless you want to pick fight with trees. Ah, sure you did. You just wanted to shoot stuff. That's the Brotherhood way. It's like Mandalorians, but, in cooler armor. I said it. Alright, can I order a good old-fashioned stealth commando run? You bet I can. Take this, Mr. Wendigo. Just kidding, we're actually going to grenade launcher this guy into next week. We'll target the torso here because, whatever. We just want to get those hits on. Maybe some criticals in the mix. We've got extra criticals. We've built this up. There we go. Very nice. And do we get a stagger every time as well? That's almost enough to completely stifle his movements, which is good news because that's going to make him that much more easily juggled, which is great. Keep in mind that although I'm firing a lot of these grenades, these are only made for 1 aluminium, 1 acid, and 1 steel or whatever. So it's like that's nothing. You can get hundreds of these grenades fairly easily, especially at an endgame level where you're just harvesting like 50 aluminiums from every time you visit the fish packing factory. Love that. Anyways, there's a bloat fly. Hate insects. Get out of here. Although it's not mosquito season for me anymore, it's getting into winter. The best time of year. Alright. I think I'm going to call it there. We've already seen the GROZA in action, and this is a fairly similar approach to it. I think this one, from memory, is stronger, but it's been a long time since I've used the original Ice Storm GROZA. But if you are interested in seeing this thing in your game, check out the link in the description. And if there's no version of this on the Xbox Arena, then there's probably going to be an Ice Storm port that'll be pretty much the same as this. I do enjoy using this mod, however. I do recommend you checking it out because it's a unique looking gun, perhaps lore friendly if you squint a little bit, and I think it's a fun weapon to use, well balanced, tipping a little bit towards overpowered, but for an endgame role, I think it'll do very well as a replacement for your boring old handmade rifle that you're flogging for at 76. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, guys.